I once had a goose, and his name was Bruce. His previous owner had said, "Hey Bruce, you got a vamoose." But I didn't want to just let loose Bruce, and so I had to protect Bruce and keep him a recluse, living inside this chicken tractor that looked more like a caboose. But in this video, I'm going to try to introduce Bruce the goose. How you doing this morning, Brucey? How's it going, bud? Feeling good this morning? Pretty soon we're gonna let you out and join the rest of the flock. It's tough having to keep them in here, to be honest. Like, I don't want to have to do it. I would much rather just let them mix and be free with all the other geese. But to be responsible for my overall flock, I need to watch to make sure that they don't get into any trouble or violence. And so that's why I'm taking it slow with Brucey here. Let loose the dragons! How are you doing this morning, Bruce? Keep making a mess with all your food, man. This isn't gonna take that much longer. So I can really tell that this confinement is a tad stressful for Bruce. But I'm really worried about all the other geese. Like, they would all gang up on him and hurt him. And so my goal here is to keep him confined in this house for probably another few days, just so he has a chance to, somehow integrate in here to our broader Goldshaw Farm Goose Society. Hey, Bruce Goose. Still doing okay, buddy? You have a good day, man. Things are gonna get better, don't worry. Don't worry, it's gonna get better soon. What you're seeing here is Justin Finch Fletchley, who's the lead gander of House Slytherin. He's actually trying to stand on top of and mount Brucey over here. I think it's actually a good sign because based on the books that I've been reading, that indicates that Justin is trying to integrate Bruce into his flock and show that he's the dominant goose. So, maybe in the next day or two, I might actually let them go face to face. It's probably still gonna get a little bit violent, but I think it might not be to the death. Come on, guys. It's another day. Leave him alone. Seriously. Hey, Bruce. Get some more food for you, buddy. Okay, you know what, Bruce? Tomorrow we're gonna try something different with you, pal. Tomorrow we're gonna let you out. Tomorrow we're gonna let you go free and intermix with the other geese. I just hope everything goes okay. You think you're ready for that, Bruce? I think you're ready for it. All right, guys. This morning is the morning, I think. We're gonna let loose the Bruce. He's been in lockup now for about 10 days, 11 days, I think. I don't know, Toby Dog. Do you think Bruce is ready? And how are you doing this morning, my pal Brucey? All right, buddy boy, out you go. You got freedom. Probably not gonna know what to do with it. Come on, Bruce. Out you go. Come on, buddy. Hey, no, it's okay. Hey, Bruce, come on. It would appear my buddy Bruce does not want to come out of his house. There you go. It's a whole new world for you, Brucey. Toby was so excited for the new addition to the farm. He was really happy to see Goose free. Such a good dog. It's kind of interesting to see that despite the fact that Bruce has access to all this land, he really just wants to be next to the geese that have been somewhat tormenting him the last 10 days. It really just shows you that geese are very social creatures. Release the Kraken!
have a really secret hope here that I was hoping to see play out. I let the ducks out first this morning because I wanted to see if I could get Bruce to become friends with the Parks and Recreation gang. That's right. I thought that Bruce and his sort of misfit ways and the Parks and Rec gang and Ron Swanson would kind of make one big happy family unit. I don't know. It just seemed like it could make sense. But as I began to mix Bruce in with the Parks and Rec gang, I don't know. It didn't seem to really take. I think the Parks and Rec gang are too tight of a crew to let any sort of outsiders into their bunch. And so Bruce was kind of left out in the cold. And Bruce really seemed attracted to hanging out with the rest of the geese. You know, those are the geese that had been surrounding his house day after day after day. And he seems like he really wants to be their friend.
Let loose the goose! Time to meet Bruce!
So I figured, why fight it? Let's let them all get together. And that's kind of when all hell broke loose. Particularly House Slytherin was not happy to see Bruce at all. I was really worried that this would get violent and ugly, and here it was turning violent and ugly. Luckily, our town constable, Toby Dog, was trying to break up the violence if it got too aggressive. He did this several times, and I was kind of blown away by it, but it really was important that the geese establish their pecking order and figure out their hierarchy. It's all part of Goose society. I mean, look, I know humans have their way of establishing a pecking order, and chickens have their way of establishing a pecking order, and what you're seeing here unfold is just how geese do it. But after some initial violence, things started to calm down and settle down. The birds weren't too happy if Bruce got too close, and even Ron Swanson tried to chase Bruce away. But overall, the violence settled down very quickly. I actually attribute that to the fact that Bruce was on the farm and could be seen by the other birds, but they couldn't fight earlier, and so they kind of already got used to him, even though he still wasn't considered part of their flock. I will admit, it kind of made me sad to see Bruce out there like this. The guy went from having a farm where he had a family to being kind of all alone. Nobody likes to be alone. He's a sweet bird. He really is. I've grown quite affectionate towards Bruce over the last few weeks. I know Toby has too. And Bruce, even though he wasn't totally fitting in and he didn't have his own flock of best friends, he wasn't being attacked aggressively, and the other geese were starting to let him join their collective. And as that night wound down, and it was time for me to put the geese to bed, Bruce decided he wanted to go to bed with the other geese. Even if the other geese didn't necessarily want him there. But I figured, what the heck? They've already started to blend so well. Let's test our luck and see how he does inside the house with the other geese overnight.
They're just being too hard on Brucey in there. I'm gonna have to let him out and not keep him in there, at least tonight. There was all sorts of chaos going on inside there.
So I decided to let Bruce stay free that night. If he needed it, he could always go back into his shelter, or he could take shelter underneath the duck house. And he had Toby Dog there to keep him safe and keep away the predators that might attack Bruce. So I was feeling okay about letting Bruce go free, but I did feel a little sad for the guy.
Good morning to you, Toby Dog. What's going, bud? Yeah. Aww. Morning, Mr. Pablo. Release the geese!
So after nearly a week of Bruce being on the farm, he finally worked his way into the goose flock and really was a part of goose society. It wasn't like he was the leader, he wasn't the alpha goose, he didn't take over at all, and some of the geese even would still bully him just a little bit if he got too close or he got in their way or he took one of the water buckets that maybe they wanted. But at the same time, he was now accepted. He was now a part of the flock. And for Bruce, I think that was the most important thing. I don't know about you guys, but I remember being a kid and starting at a new school when all the other kids at the school knew each other and I was the outsider and didn't quite fit in. And that feeling, it always hurt a lot. And watching Bruce try to work his way into the flock always kind of reminded me of those feelings. But it's good to see that he seems to be accepted and he seems to be a part of the goose flock now, and he seems to be a real part of Goldshaw Farm. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you really like this video and you really want to do us a favor here at Goldshaw Farm, be sure to share this video with your friends and family. It would mean a lot to us.